Hello ninth class students. Today we are starting a new chapter in science, chapter number 3. The name of the chapter is Atoms and Molecules. In lower classes students, you have studied a little about the atoms and molecules, but in this video we will study them in detail from their history to their modern form. So let's start without wasting the time. Students, if we talk about the history of the atom, first of all let us understand what is atom, then we will understand its history. Student, atom is actually the smallest particle of the matter. We have studied about the matter in chapter first. So matter is anything that occupy space which has its mass. So the smallest unit of the matter which is not divisible, we cannot divide it, and if we divide, its existence is not possible in the nature. So students, the smallest particle of the matter which is not divisible is called atom. But later on, when scientists goes through the atom, they found that atom is also made up of different subatomic particles. That subatomic particles are electron, proton and neutron. You have studied about the electron, proton and neutrons. We will see them also in this chapter. So an atom is the smallest particle which cannot further divide, but it is made up of subatomic particles, electron, proton and neutrons, which do not have their own existence, but whenever they are present in the inside an atom in the ratio, they form atom. So students, if we talk about the history of the atom, then the history of the atoms is started nearly about 500 BC. You have studied about AC and BC in history. BC, that means before Christ. About 500 years before Christ, a Maharishi named Maharishi Kanad. What was the name of the Maharishi? Maharishi Kanad. Maharishi Kanad first of all postulated the theory, somehow it was related to the atom. He told that whenever we continuously divide any matter, then the smallest particle that we obtain is known as Parmanu. He gave the name is in Sanskrit, but it is somehow resembles the modern atom. Parmanu, before the 500 years BC, he gave this theory. But later on students, some scientists who proposed the modern theory of the atom and defined it in some modern ways. So students, in the same time 500 BC, two Greek philosophers, remember they were philosophers and not the scientists. There is a difference between philosopher and scientist. Philosopher always gave their theory on the basis of the philosophy, and there is no experimental basis of that theory. But the scientists always provide their theory with experimental proofs. So they proposed two Greek philosophers named Democritus and Leucippus. They also gave the same theory nearly given by the Maharishi Kanad, that whenever we are goes through the dividing matter, then the smallest particle that we obtain, which is not further can be divided into a smaller particle, is known as atom. They first of all, Democritus gave the term atom. Atom that we study in our modern science is mainly given by the Democritus. Democritus said that atom is the smallest particle which cannot further divided. Actually, the verbal meaning of the atom in Greek is not divisible. That is why atom term is given. But this theory was purely based on the philosophy and not the practical basis. There were no practical proofs for this. Experimental proofs were not there. So, in the 18th century, now from 500 BC to 18th century, there were no experimental proven were for atom. But in 18th century, scientist named Antony L. Lavoisier, or we simply call him Lavoisier, Antony L. Lavoisier or Lavoisier proven the atom experimentally and said that atom is the smallest particle that take part in a chemical reaction. We have studied about the chemical reaction, that whenever two or more than two elements combine together and form the new substances, that is called chemical reaction. So students, Antony L. Lavoisier or Lavoisier said that atom is the smallest particle that take part in a chemical reaction that combines together and form the new substances. So students, Antony Lavoisier later on gave two laws related to the combination of the atom. Let's see that laws. The first law, all these laws are known as law of chemical combination. Laws of chemical combination, and the very first law that was given by Antony Lavoisier was law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass, and second law that he gave was law of constant proportion. Let's see them all in detail. Second law was law of constant proportion. First of all, if we talk about the law of conservation of masses, law of conservation of mass states that the mass can neither be, or atom can neither be created nor be destroyed. That we cannot create new atoms and we cannot destroy the atom that are already present in nature, but we can change them in one form to another form. The atoms can be converted, can be combined together to form the compounds or to form the molecules. Now second term, our that is heading of our atom, molecules. So students, molecules are actually the combination of the atom in fixed ratio. Whenever the atoms combine together in a fixed ratio, they form the molecules, and molecule form compound. We will discuss them. So always remember the name of these two laws which are given by Lavoisier, that is law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportion. Let's discuss them one by one in detail. Let's see the first law, that is law of conservation of mass, which states that atom can neither be created or mass can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be converted from one form to another form. Let's understand it with a simple example. Whenever hydrogen gas H2 react with oxygen gas, remember it is in gaseous state, oxygen is also in gaseous state. When they combine together, they form H2O, and H2O is in liquid state. This H2O, which is formed by the combination of the hydrogen and oxygen in gaseous state, they form liquid water in liquid state. So now see, if we balance this reaction, then 2 hydrogen here, 2 hydrogen, but here 2 oxygen and here is only 1 oxygen, so we will put here 2. Now 2 oxygen but hydrogens are 4. So this reaction is balanced now. Now see students, hydrogen combining with oxygen and forming water, but if we see, the basic constituent of the water molecule is hydrogen and water, and 4 hydrogen atoms combining with 2 oxygen atom, and here also total 4 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom present in water molecules. 2 water molecules are forming here. That means there is no loss of the atom, neither gain of the new atom, neither the formation of the new atoms is taking place. That is the provenance or proof of the law of conservation of mass, that whenever 2 fixed masses of the elements combine together, then the product that will form will contain the exact amount which is combining together. There will be no increasing in the product molecules and not decreasing in the atom. The number of the atoms will remain same. Let's understand the second law, that is law of constant proportion. The second law given by Lavoisier was law of constant proportion. Law of constant proportion states that students, whenever there is formation of the chemical compound takes place or a molecule of the compound form, then it doesn't mean by which method the compound is forming, but finally the number of atoms will present in fixed ratio or in the same ratio in each type of the compound. Let's understand it with the help of an example, that if we talk about the water, its chemical formula is H2O. You know that there are different sources of water around us. For example, we can obtain water. We took different sources of the water here. First of water, we consider tap water that we uses in our house. Second, water from the sea water, and thirdly, we consider river water. Now students, you will see that in these 3 types of the water, the hydrogen and oxygen ratio will be same. Here water 2:1. If we talk about the number of atoms, the ratio of the number of the atoms, then there is 2:1. So here the formula of tap water will also be H2O, because basically it is water. Sea water is also H2O, and river water is also H2O, and the ratio of the hydrogen to the oxygen will be same. That is 2:1, 2:1, and again it will be 2:1. So law of constant proportion states that if the same compound is forming from different methods, if the method we are using in order to form that compound is different, but the final ratio of the elements present in that compound will be same, because students, the final compound will same in all the processes. That is why the ratio of the elements present in final compound will not depend upon the method which we are using for its preparation, but the ratio will be same in each cases. Till this time, students, when Lavoisier proposed these two laws, scientist was keen to know about the atom more and more. So, a scientist named John Dalton proposed the atomic theory. The name of the scientist was John Dalton. John Dalton proposed a theory related to atom in beginning of the 18th century, that is in 1888. 1808. He proposed some points related to the atom, and that points are collectively known as Dalton's atomic theory. So, John Dalton gave the theory related to the atom. Let's understand which points did John Dalton give related to the atom. The very first point, students, that John Dalton gave was that all matter is made up of teeny particles. Each and every atom, every matter that is present around us is made up of teeny particles, very small particles. So, the first point is all matter is or are all matter are made up of small particles, and we call it atom. Name of that small particle is atom. The second point that he gave is that atom cannot further divide into small particles. So, atom cannot further be divided. We cannot divide the atom because atom is the smallest particle that we have obtained. So, first is all matter is made up of small particles called atom, and we have seen that atom, they take parts in chemical reaction. Atom is the smallest particle. So, atom which take part in chemical reaction, and second is atom cannot be further divided. It is also cannot be created nor be destroyed. We have seen it in law of conservation of mass. So, further cannot further be divided and cannot be created nor be destroyed. We cannot create or cannot form the new atom and cannot create the new atoms and cannot destroy the atom that are already present in the nature. Third and most important thing that Dalton said that if we see the different types of the elements around us, that means there must be some difference in the atom of the elements. If we take the example of gold, silver, iron, aluminium, then they all looks different. They all have different properties. And the reason behind having the different property is that, students, there is difference in their atom. So the third point is that the atom of different elements or all the elements are different. Third point is atoms of different elements are differ from each other. Only then the elements can be different from each other, otherwise all the elements will look similar to each other. So all the atoms of the different elements are different from each other. Now students, if it seen that the atom cannot be divided further, so he also postulated an important point that atoms always combine with each other in whole number ratio. They do not combine in fraction form, because the atom is not possible to obtain in fraction. We cannot obtain 1.5 atom. Why? Because we cannot cut the atom, we cannot obtain the half atom. That is the reason that atoms always combine in whole number ratio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but they not combine in fraction form. So the next postulate that he gave, fourth postulate, was atoms always combines in whole number ratio and not in the fraction form. Whole number ratio to form compounds. They combine together to form compounds. These are the main four postulates. Fifth postulate that John Dalton gave was that, students, the fourth point that Dalton postulated was just related to the third point. In third point, he said that atoms of different elements are differ from each other. Let's see. In fifth point, he told that the atoms of the same element are identical. All the atoms of the same element are identical in nature. They resemble to each other. For example, if we take the atoms of the iron, then each and every atom of the iron will be similar to each other, and there will be no difference in atom of the same element. So the fifth point is atoms of same element are similar in nature. They are similar to each other. These are the 5 postulates of the Dalton's atomic theory. One more, he total postulates 6 points, and the 6 points of the Dalton's atomic theory were that whenever the atoms combine together and they form the molecules, then the number of atoms in a molecule and type of the atom, remains constant in every molecules. Let's understand. First of all, write the point and then we will understand what is the meaning of this point. Sixth point, the relative number and kind of atoms remains constant in molecule. In each and every molecules, the type of the atom and their number always remains constant. For example, if we take the example of water H2O, then each and every molecule of the water H2O, the number of hydrogen and number of oxygen atom will be same. That is, it doesn't get different in different forms